Binge Society.
Yeah, we binging.
Yeah, we binging.
Yeah, we binging.
Yeah, we binging.
Yeah, we back. We're just gonna do that for an hour.
We binge. What you talking about?
All right,
you better
all right,
mention
all right.
that we binge. I told him to rap each and every time.
We're going to keep rhyming, y'all. Yo, fuck it. We're just going to do a whole podcast about rap and shit.
Yeah, it's just going to be a battle rap. This is going to devolve into a battle rap.
What's
There's
up,
no
gang?
problem with
What's
that.
going on, y'all?
What's Binge Society? We back, episode
5
5.
up in this
Wow.
bitch.
The Cinco. The
Cinco de Augusto, baby.
All right.
Yo,
okay.
it's- yo.
That's not today's date.
Whatever.
I'm Winston Brewington.
I'm Danny Bronner.
And I'm Yemi Afolabi, baby.
Yeah.
And as we said before, we are Binge Society, the place where the only thing that's in moderation
Is moderation. That's right. We binge about nerdy stuff, Netflix, movies, audio stuff, video game. We binge everything pretty much, right?
Yeah.
We have no self-control.
No.
None whatsoever.
There's nothing that separates us from the animals.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, opposable thumb.
Oh, well, yeah, you know, that's the only thing.
I can open a can of tuna, goddammit.
Only thing.
I'd like to see Mittens do
Or
that.
I would also like to point out, you can also hold a cold cup of Dunkin' from the Staten Island
Yo,
Ferry.
sponsor us, yo, for real. Yeah, book.
Ferry Duncan.
I got that energy brew. All right, I think
us
I ran over here because, yeah, I was almost late, but
Hey, man.
My man made
So if you're watching on video, you might notice that there's something new going on here.
That's
Yeah.
right.
What do you see on the video screen here? We have a new logo.
That shit is fresh, man.
yeah, the logo, I'm just going to do a quick shout out to the homie back in Sweden, Stockholm. If you know my story, you know why I'm saying this. To Kick Punch Punkt SE, Daniel Bjork, man, he does podcasts, he does artwork, and it's always fresh, it's always original, and he works with comedians and podcasters, so holla at him, Kick Punkt SE.
Yo, my man, you get a fucking roster on for that.
Sorry, Kick Punch dot SE. I say punkt in Swedish. Sorry, my bad.
Too much Ferry Duncan.
Follow us. He's following us on Instagram. You'll find him. He's dope.
Yeah,
He did the
man.
he did the logo. I feel
Yes.
like this is the inaugural. What's the word I'm looking for?
If-
Debut.
The debut of the new
Of
look.
the logo, and I
I
love
think it looks sick.
I
look
dig
the
it.
unveiling.
It
Yeah.
is. I look a little sad watching TV on it. That's good.
Yo, man, I mean,
I'm watching a romantic comedy and
well,
shit.
Well, the picture you sent was very loathsome. You're like, oh god. I mean, but it's like I like we all have a different. Why can't I talk? Expression in our face.
yeah, man.
We do.
And it's
Which
just,
is
I
dope.
think it's indicative of the emotional roller coaster that
Yeah.
a good binge can take you on.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And I really love it, man. The shading, the lighting. My representation is great. You see, I got the biggest lips in the biz.
Big ass nigga lips. Sorry. I think
takes
yours looks more like a. I think they're all caricatures, but yours is like he's like, yeah, let me give Danny some DSLs. I was like, I don't know.
Hey, man. Nice and soft,
Hey,
man.
it looks
I got to
good.
use lots of, they require lots of maintenance, lots of aquifer, you know? You don't want to use
Okay.
any of those chemicals that dry you out, man.
Yeah, man.
You'd be crusty. You don't want to be crusty.
You don't want to be crusty in these
You
streets.
look like
man.
Angelina Jolie in Gia when she's falling on hard times.
Gio? All right.
You never see Gia? That's a very, very obscure reference. Okay. Anyway,
All right.
So Louis logo. This is episode 6. We doing 5. Sorry, we're doing it. I'm really excited about this episode. So
Yeah.
without further ado, should
Me
we get
too.
into
what's in the news?
what's in the news?
Winston?
Binge
All right.
news.
Let's do a little quick turn here talking about hashtag Save Spidey, which was trending on Twitter earlier today.
Oh my God.
So Danny has more of the details than I do, but basically, Sony and Disney are having a quarrel over the Spider-Man franchise.
Ooh, Trouble in Paradise.
I mean, this
Love
is like
is
a fucking
cool.
toxic relationship that is just like, we're going to stick with it. He's
Exactly.
good to me.
Exactly.
So what happened? I'm like out of it.
Yeah.
Disney is the fucking aggressor here, from what I understand. So basically, Disney was looking at the success of Spider-Man Far From Home. Both of those movies, hugely successful, and they reach an agreement to incorporate Spider-Man, even though he's a Sony property, into the MCU proper that is owned by Disney. And the second film grossed somewhere in... It did very, very well. Very, very
Hundreds
well.
of millions of
than
dollars.
anything. I don't know if it was... Well, I think it was... I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
In any case, much better than any of Sony's projects, especially their superhero projects, have done in recent memory.
Yeah.
So Disney was like, let me get some of that action, man. And so they wanted 50-50. They wanted a 50-50 split on the next, at least upcoming film or films, I don't know. And Sony was like, nah, son, can't do it. So now they're bickering like, I don't know. They're being bitches, man, and not in the anti-feminist sense, but like you know what I mean. They're being bitches. This is one of those cases where money is ruining a property here. The implications of this are huge, man. That means that if in the next film, if he's actually pulled out of the MCU, they couldn't use Iron Man, which is the whole source of his motivation. They wouldn't be able to make references to things like Infinity War and Endgame, like the blip, which is how they started off. And this second movie, and they even used it to bookend Phase 4. I'm losing count of the number of phases, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you mean
that phase.
Yeah.
So that aspect is fucking terrible. But for me, also, I think like, well, it wouldn't be the end of the world because there's a deep well of characters and villains that they could use in the Sony, in just like the Spider-Man universe that I think would do really well. Your Rhinos, they haven't done a Goblin in this reboot. Who knows? And also, Venom is a Sony property, so if they could get those guys
That's
together.
interesting. Yeah, no, that's very
So
true.
pretty much Big Corp wants everything.
Basically.
And they were like, we'll give you 50-50. And Sony's like, nah, fam.
yeah,
This is a good segue into some of the things we're going to be talking about
Yeah.
when we get to The Boys. This is some
Yeah.
straight-up
Exactly.
bot status here.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about Spider-Man is I think it's super whack. I think that they need to work together. Everyone's being really selfish. And the only thing I
Yeah.
thought was...
Yeah, man, it's a real
It's
loss.
everyone's fucking loss, man.
man.
Come on, you're part of the MCU.
Feel like
we
I
want to
lost
have
to
Spider-Man,
Pachinko.
man.
But this also happens when things become popular and when you have Big Corp like influencing art and creativity, right? Look at Rick and Morty, right? They just got season 4 that's coming out in November because whatever, Time Warner, whoever owns Cartoon Network is like, we're not going to pay you guys. And they're like, yo, pay us. You make mad money off merch and we're not seeing any of that money. We want a new contract. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
just creates like the rift and then
Yeah.
you have the creators and stuff and like it's just like whatever.
Capitalism constantly getting in the way.
Exactly. That's why we got to vote for my man Bernie Sanders.
Bernie's
you know what I mean? That's socialism.
Socialism. I've lived it.
Whoa.
I've lived it. It's nice. It's boring though, but it is nice.
It's nice to have health care when
Yeah.
you need it.
You've
Yeah,
seen a little bit
Jesus
of that
Christ.
socialism life, right there.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful, man. I want that health care. I mean, I got good benefits because I'm a teacher and everything, and that's great. And that's a socialized program that we have in the country.
Aren't
so
you in a union?
I'm in a union, and I'm
Sitting with a glare like, aren't you in a union?
I'm in a union.
A union.
Union of the
UFT, UFT, man.
DOE don't play no games, fam.
They don't play games. They're
Nah,
strong
man.
arm motherfuckers
Well, they're not
out
playing
here, man.
games with my
DOE?
dental. I get good dental. I can get a checkup. You know, that's pretty nice. I can see if I'm dying.
Yeah.
That's not most people can't, or too many people can't say that about
Yeah,
themselves.
I got to check up because I thought I was dying.
So anyway,
I mean, you always checkups are important.
No, I literally was like, this is it, baby.
enough about political
All
structures.
right,
though.
all right.
What else are we
About
talking about? So
Yemenis.
Spider-Man, we hope that
We hope he doesn't get fucked up.
we hope capitalism does not get in the
Yes.
way of good art. For
Yes.
fuck's sakes, this is one of my favorite superheroes.
Don't fuck up the MCU.
Don't fuck
do
me
it.
on this. That's what I say to my students. Don't fuck me on this.
In other news, I'm excited about this because guess what? It deals with anime. Kevin Smith is bringing back Masters of the Universe Revelation in
Yes,
anime
sir.
form. I'm just gonna wait. Was that the intro?
Yeah, it just like came back to me. That was like in the recesses of my
I
memory.
have the power, and I hope he's just like as homoerotic as ever in this one
Get
too.
the
man.
furry
Yeah.
underwear.
Yeah, everything, and I want it to be TVMA. If it's anime, it has to be TVMA, right?
I would think so, especially with Kevin Smith. I think
Yeah,
this
Kevin
is going to
Smith.
be. I think it's going to cater
Why are, you
towards the
making,
adults.
why are you making that?
I mean, MA, like,
grimace?
what do you expect to happen? Do you want the boys treatment? You want like He-Man to dick down She-Ra?
Yeah, why not? Hey,
That would be
yes.
some shit.
Yeah, man.
Heavy metal
this was
meets
my
He-Man.
this was my gripe with Hobbs and Shaw that it wasn't. It's supposed to be rated R.
Yeah, no one got dicked down in that
baby.
movie.
Yeah, no one got dicked down. They had one kiss. No side boob. I'm coming across as mad toxic. Whatever. I don't care.
You're building
care.
your brand, man. You're building your brand.
So the Jay and Silent Bob reboot director surprised fans at PowerCon in Anaheim on Sunday to share the news of his new Netflix anime series, Master of the Universe Revelation, which will be an original story based on the world of Mattel's classic. Mattel, for you guys don't know, is a toy company. I think they still make toys.
I think so. Yeah,
They do.
It's
Yeah,
still
that's
around.
Barbie, man. That's Barbie.
Yeah,
it's
it's
still
Barbie.
around.
Classic 80s era He-Man toy franchise. Smith will serve as executive producer, yada yada. I'm excited about it. Any
Where's that from, by the way? We're giving credit.
Oh, this
to
is
people?
credit to Deadline.
Oh, okay.
Deadline.com.
Shout out to Deadline.com.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I used to, as a child, it was Thundercats, it was He-Man, and
Voltron. No, Transformers. Voltron was more my older brothers.
Yeah. I was a huge He-Man fan.
Yeah, He-Man.
Huge.
Super stoked for that. I'm really hoping, you know that truck that has the really weird wheels?
Yeah.
Please, that's my only request. No one has to get dick down. Can I just get those weird fucking conveyor belt wheels that make no physical sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that.
So I'm really excited about that. I love what Kevin Smith does. He lost a lot of weight too. I didn't know that. Good
he
for
lost
him, man.
Mad
That's
weight.
good for him, man.
Well, he had
a
a bit of a health scare.
Yeah, he was.
He had a
obese.
heart attack.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
I saw him on stage. I won't stay too long into this, but yeah, I saw him on stage about a year and a half ago, and he explained the whole ordeal. But glad he's doing better. Glad he lost the weight. Glad that his health is doing better, and
Shout
he's
out
creating
Kevin
out.
Smith, yeah.
So shout out to Kevin Smith.
Hell yeah, man.
That's
this
all you
is
have
like
at the end of
he's like the apex predator of nerds.
Yeah, exactly. No, he really is. He really is.
He is, man.
Yeah.
He is, man.
And he's gonna do it right. And I hope. And you know what? This also says a lot about what Netflix is going through right now, which because of all their Disney stuff getting pulled, they're leaning more towards anime and original animation that's more adult. And I think that's great because if you check out their anime library now, it's getting thick.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say,
Super
and
nice.
I guess we'll get into this a bit more later when we talk about The Boys, but one of the good things, I have complained about the segmenting of different stream services and how that forces you to buy these different things.
I gotta
But one of
send
the
you something.
good positive things that come out of it is this sense of competition. It forces these companies to put out something that's really good. And I think that's what happened, and we'll get into this, as I said. I think that's what happened with Amazon.
Yeah, but that's been happening for the last decade because Netflix, people were like, what's going on over here? Why is everybody? Because all the streams and all the big networks are noticing TV is slowly dying, and we're gonna have to monetize this somehow. Netflix was on the forefront of that, and then you had Hulu was there too. Then you had
you got Amazon Prime Video,
and then you had Yahoo.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yahoo.
Yeah, Yahoo has their own service.
They have their own service. It's not as big.
It's not
but
as big.
They have
but
their own
do.
service. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Just saying that today, I like it, but it is going to become this kind of weird where I have this subscription to watch that, and then this. It's going to become.
I mean, that's the only thing that's super annoying to me is I'm not looking to spend more money, but if the content is right, you're definitely going to give me incentive to do so. So
I mean, I'm in there with Amazon just by virtue of having Amazon Prime and how convenient that is for me. It's like, hey, I get to watch all these shows too. So, but the other streaming services, you really have to make a conscious decision to get into that. But anyway, like I said, it's cool that that's this sort of competition breeds this sort of creativity, kind of a thing.
Yes, sir.
Word.
All right. So
Next up.
All right.
Are we going to talk
Should we
about
get
this?
into it? This is it. This is
Matrix. Yeah, I guess quickly. Yeah, Matrix.
Matrix 4, I don't
4 was
care
announced.
about that.
I really hope it's good, man.
Is it with Will Smith?
They should make it with fucking Will Smith.
He was supposed to be Neo.
That's right. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he went to be like, yo, do Matrix 4 and put me in it.
And what is it? What is it? A reboot or is it a?
That I don't know.
They say Matrix 4. But
didn't Neo? Didn't it reset at the end of spoiler alert?
Yeah.
It reset the whole thing.
Well, my guess is what's going to happen is they're going to be like, all right, well, since the second two movies weren't as good as the original, we're just going to act like this is a brand new sort of reset. And even though it'll be part of the whole, kind of set of movies, that's the way I think they're going to do it. But
it has to be I don't want to see a Matrix 4. Just me personally.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I didn't want to
listeners?
see Matrix.
Do you want to see a Matrix 4?
hit us up.
Hit us up at Binge Society Podcast at gmail.com.
Jesus
Exactly.
Christ, that was the most sarcastic. Do you want to see it? Are you fucking stupid? If you're proud of that sort of thing,
well, hit us
Disney.
up then, you little bitch. Sorry.
See, what would be dope is
Toxic
if they brought in Will Smith and then brought in Keanu Reeves, but as John Wick, and had them fight each other in the Matrix universe.
Yeah, just throw everybody. Throw
just to
Jaden
fuck with
Smith in
people.
there.
Yeah, just fuck with people.
and then put it in his actual put Keanu Reeves as himself from Always Be My Maybe.
Yes.
In there.
Yes, that would be fucking amazing.
Hit me. Anyway.
All right.
That was a bad movie. Okay, so
Moving
what are
on.
we really talking about
Are
today,
we
Winston?
skipping this?
We're talking about.
Oh, all right.
wait.
Never mind. Never mind. Continue.
Okay. We're talking about The Boys today. The Boys, of course, is the Amazon Prime original series. The second season is already in production because the first season was so very good. Seth Rogen, of course, is a producer. He was adapted by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and Eric Kripke. Yep,
Kripke,
that's his name.
yeah.
So basically, this show is based off of a comic book, and it's very adult oriented.
Ooh, yeah.
Exactly, not for the kids.
Put your kids to bed before you watch The Boys.
Exactly. So yeah, we're gonna
say
get
that.
into this. Let's see who wants to go first. Danny Barona.
Okay, so
Oh wait,
can we just?
Are there gonna be spoilers in this?
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
We spoiling.
Spoiled.
Like
yeah,
the
again,
fruit in your fruit basket.
So yeah,
Shit about to get spoiled.
Exactly.
how do you know people don't eat their fruit, man?
Damn, that was pretty bad, that joke.
No,
That
I actually
deserved-
liked it, but I just felt I don't know.
Here all afternoon, folks.
I don't
Go ahead,
waste any
Danny.
of
I
my
liked
fruit.
it.
Anyway,
I do.
so all right. So before we get into an in-depth analysis per se, I think it's safe to say we all fucking loved this.
This
Can
was-
we-
Yeah,
Can
we
I
do.
just say
Yes.
we loved it?
This
Yes.
was the best binge I've had in our career of binge
In our society.
Yeah,
In our society.
and it's only been a few weeks, but it's
Yeah.
definitely been the best for sure.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, do I love this fucking thing.
Yeah,
And I'll
it's
get into why. But
really good.
before I do, though, here's my question for you guys. Because my thoughts on this were changing as I was watching the show, and I was thinking about it. If you wanted to get someone into this show, I would say the best way to go about it is just to say, yo, man, I think you dig this. Or, lady, I think you dig this. Just go fucking watch it. But if they needed a little bit more coaxing, a little bit more prodding, and you had to give like a synopsis.
like a pitch, elevator
like a
pitch.
pitch. If you had to pitch this, how would you describe this show without giving away too much? Because I feel like as I was trying
That's
to
a
think
good
about
question.
it, as I was trying to think about it for this show, I'm like, what do I want to include? Or like I was trying to describe it to my girlfriend, and I was like, how can I describe this without giving away anything? Because I came into this like a newborn baby. I still had the placenta
Straight out the womb.
and amniotic fluid was all over the place, and I was watching it, and I didn't know what was happening. So it was really cool to watch it unravel.
Someone drank the afterbirth.
You know it, man. You know it.
And she got iron in it.
Any case, so how do you give a spoiler-free synopsis? What's the blurb for this? Who wants to take? Someone take this.
It's do you want to see the real face of modern superheroism? This would be like if we had superheroes in today's society, this is how it would play out. With a tinge of melodrama. Done correctly.
Yeah.
All right.
Done correctly.
Now you've presented an issue, and this is what I was struggling with as well. Does that tell the whole story? Is that the whole synopsis?
No, that's
a mere piece.
It's a mere piece because there's we gotta just get into, there's layers to this, man. Like it also talks about the arms war socio-geographic political thing going on in the States, like with trading,
So it's an allegory.
it's
for
an
like the
allegory
arms
of what's
trade.
going on with our military and it's a lot, man. And I can't. But at the base of it, it's that. But it's also, from what I got, this is how it would look in a superhero society today, like to 2019, whatever, 2020, 2019. This is pretty much how it would look and play out. Opposed to this romanticism as we look at superheroes, like, they're so good. They're like a heart of steel. They never do anything wrong. They would never abuse their power, which is bullshit. Because they live in a human society and they grew up in that society. Not like Superman who flew down from Krypton or he's an alien or some shit like that. But like someone who is actually, grew up like in New York City, and like, can we just get into it? Because I want to talk about this one.
Let's do it.
All right. So what would you add to this? What would you add
Sorry.
to this, Winston, in your synopsis?
Yes.
Because we didn't even mention Huey.
Yeah. I mean,
Wait, who?
You didn't mention Huey.
Huey is
basically the lead.
he's sort of the lead character other than Billy Butcher. Who
Oh,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
You didn't mention the boys as part of your synopsis.
Yeah,
and
they're the-
it's not to shit on you in your synopsis. It's
No.
to say that it's difficult to provide one that is what's the word I'm looking for?
Accurate or
Accurate
all-encompassing?
and comprehensive.
Yeah.
Comprehensive.
Yeah.
That's what
Like
I'm
if I was
saying.
It's a deep story, man. Like, it's
is.
It's a very deep story.
Like if I was gonna try to sell this show to someone, I would tell them, A, it's violent. B, the acting is great.
Yes.
C, the writing is good.
Say more.
And you'll never look at superheroes the same way again.
Hell yeah. So the only thing I would add
That's
is
an
Thank
applause
you. I
break for
appreciate
that.
that. I appreciate
what
that.
what
yeah.
I would add here is that we're watching a moment where the flaws of these superheroes, which are great. So like we've seen flaws in superheroes in the likes of Watchmen, but we've got some
Yes, it was
straight up
definitely giving me Watchmen vibes.
narcissists. We've got some straight up psychopaths. So what happens when you have heroes who are trying to maintain the image of being heroes, but also have the flaws of being psychopaths?
No,
being
no,
just
no.
emotionally
Say less.
devoid.
Say less. Flaws of being human. every hero.
But it's a bit further than just being human.
No,
right?
man.
Because
Especially
there's how much nuance is there?
okay. What's the fish guy? All right, can we go into it? Can
Oh,
we talk
so this
about
is
it?
the deep. Yes,
This
let's talk about
so
it.
let's-
All right,
no,
we
we're
can
ta-
start getting into things.
We're gonna
Yeah.
start getting into it because I thought that they were definitely allegories and just metaphors for human traits. Fishman, the deep, right? The first
Or Aquaman.
Oh, Aquaman.
So yeah. So
and I love that they were taking digs at Aquaman in that shit.
Yeah,
That shit was
yeah.
so funny.
No, that was dope.
He's like, so what? I could talk to fish. Who gives a shit? And it's like, yeah, everyone kind of, you have the shittiest power.
Yeah.
And like his whole arc was that.
and he's clearly based off of all the heroes here
Are based off of DC.
direct rip-offs of
DC.
DC. A little bit of smattering of Marvel as well. Like they had Nubian Prince, who is obviously Black Panther.
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
dude
right.
they say- yeah, yeah.
You're
You could
Prince.
say, I forget,
Mr.
A-Train's
Invisible?
girlfriend was kind of like what's her name? X-23?
Bone Marrow. Oh, yeah.
Or Marrow.
I
It's kind of
forget
like
her name from
X-23.
X-Men. Yeah. She had the bone.
Yeah,
She had the
yeah.
extra.
Or
She had
Marrow.
the extra bone marrow. Yeah.
That's the bone
She
structure.
got, yeah, and A-Train was definitely a Flash.
For sure.
Homeland was
Home-
your Superman.
Superman.
He was
Black
kinda like
Noir,
a-
I later figured out was like Batman, kind of.
I guess they didn't. He
Yeah.
fought, but he didn't really do anything.
No,
I mean,
he had that scene with Kamiko.
Yeah.
Kamiko.
Anyway,
Homelander was really like this like smattering of like Captain America and Superman, kind of like
and Zach Morris.
and Zach
Yeah,
Morris
exactly,
all rolled
exactly.
up into one. But
When
anyway,
you wake up in the morning. All right. Wait. Before we start talking about the superheroes, can we talk about the boys, the actual boys? Because
Yeah.
I love this dynamic, and how they introduced it was definitely giving me Guy Ritchie
Yeah.
vibes. I was
Yeah.
like, there's something about the way he was introducing it, and I just want to say that's how you introduce a ragtag bunch of dudes. Like not to go back, but Hobbs and Shaw did not. Like it was believable. Like I'm not fucking working with. Like they fought. Like
Yeah.
he pulled out a knife. Like it was like whoa, that escalated too fast. Whereas Hobbs and Shaw was like fuck you. It was like wow.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Like I didn't buy it.
Let's try to regain our focus a little bit, but I do
Okay.
want to say as an aside,
Sorry,
I
yeah.
loved the banter between those two, and I was thinking exactly that.
Frenchie
I was
and
like,
Mother's Milk.
Frenchie and Mother's
Yeah.
Milk, man.
Great
they had
characters.
great banter, and it was like a believable like
Witness this.
tension between them. And they had the banter, man. Remember we were talking about how bad the banter was in Hobbs and Shaw? This one had fucking amazing banter. What was
It
that?
did.
There was that one line. It was like, "Unclench your asshole." It was like, "Why don't you kiss my clenched asshole?" Like shit like that. Like that's fucking good.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's so good.
But
All right.
also, it's also because they had a they spoke how you would speak to someone you didn't like. You know what I mean? Like they had a.
yeah, it didn't seem fake.
It didn't seem faked. You know, it didn't seem, and also like, I don't know. That was good banter, good writing, and just good acting. They delivered it.
But all right,
so Huey,
Here's
main character. Let's talk about the protagonist.
yeah, protagonist. So I love Billy Butcher. I love Huey.
Huey's a nerd. He's a big nerd.
Oh, yeah,
and he's
yeah.
a scaredy cat.
So a couple of things. First, I want to just say what I love. Like you said, I want to just piggyback off of that. The Guy Ritchie vibes out of Billy the Butcher is
Yeah.
perfect, and that's one of the things I love so fucking much about this show is that it gave me so many things that I love about other shows and movies
Yeah,
within
yeah.
this. So I got like the flawed superhero vibe from Watchmen.
Yep.
I got the
Dr.
the
Manhattan.
tension, the sort of like Breaking Bad style, holy shit, I'm in over my head in a world of shit
Yeah.
with Huey, where he kills Translucent in episode 2.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Because
episode
episode one
shit
has
is popping off.
no, but episode one has. I mean, spoiler alert.
I mean-
yeah, we already said that. But his girlfriend like got, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
The way they shot that too was so interesting because it just looked like she exploded.
Right.
But then they slowed it down, and then you saw A-Train. I was
Yeah.
like, oh
yeah.
shit,
That was
he
incredible.
ran through.
That was
her?
incredible.
I had to rewind
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
I
was,
was
on,
like,
I was on
yeah.
the train
Yeah.
and I was like, whoa, what just happened?
No,
Oh,
that
you
was
watched that on
incredible.
the train?
That was incredible.
Fam.
Like
Yeah.
I was literally sitting there watching
screen
that,
teams.
and I did not know what the fuck happened. Like and it was just like it was like she wasn't there, and then all of a sudden you just see the splattering of blood on Huey's face, and all of a sudden you see her like body or what was her body just all over the concrete, and then A-Train's like, I can't stop, and he just keeps going, and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? That was a crazy way to start off the series, by the way.
And at that point, I don't know that our heroes are fucking assholes yet. I'm like, oh, maybe something's going wrong. Maybe
it was an accident.
Maybe it was an accident.
Right.
But then we get introduced to Starlight, and then she gets accepted into the 7. She has a great.
I knew what they were doing with her, but
yeah, she had a great audition video. We immediately fell in love, and then she gets accepted into the 7. She gets introduced, and then we get that scene with the Deep
and Starlight,
Starlight.
which is also super woke.
So, how do you feel about how they handle this? This is obviously a very hot button issue, and then again, this is something else that I love about the show, that it speaks to the zeitgeist. It speaks to it speaks to the times we're in right now in so many different ways, and no more so than this and the issues of Me Too and sexual assault. So how do you guys feel? How do you guys feel like how do you feel the show handled this? I know some have said they didn't like it, that they made them feel uncomfortable. I mean, how do you feel that they tackled it? And as cis straight males as we are,
we got to get some other than us on the show. When you go.
At least we're not fully white here.
Look,
so like,
I think for the most
we're not
part,
fully white here. Like,
we're not.
So we're not
third.
We're fully hated. We got. Anyway.
I think for the most part they handled it well. I thought that they gave, like when it happened, I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. And then they gave Starlight time to contemplate things and go over things and to be upset. And then you see kind of the way that she changes. And then all of a sudden she's like, you know what? I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do. And I like the way that they handled it because this stuff doesn't actually happen. So they didn't just act like it was some sort of like fake thing and like, oh, they're just going to keep it pushing. Like she was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. When they had that big meeting as the 7 in the room for the first time, she was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. And I thought that was the first time that she really showed her personality, and which would also show up later in the show when she was at that festival, the religious festival.
They were also talking, that
Christ Fest.
Yeah, but she's a lot stronger than, at first she's portrayed at this like small town country girl just coming into the big city working with these superheroes, and she doesn't know what she's doing, and all of a sudden, and absolutely, and like you could see that's kind of the beginning of her having her own mind, deciding what she wants to do, and I thought they handled it well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something controversial, but listen to what I'm fucking saying, mate. So basically, I am glad that she went through with it. And the reason is my initial.
Can you say what
I
it
am
is
glad,
for the people that have not watched it or
so yeah, I am glad to a certain degree that she actually performed the act, that she went through
coerced,
that she got coerced.
Right.
And here's why. Listen to what the fuck I'm saying.
Boy, I'm
not glad that a person had to endure that. I'm glad how they represented on film and on TV how that sort of thing can happen and the aftermath, because it's happened to so many different people, and in many ways this is an allegory for the handling of celebrities and actors, artists of all kinds.
Once you get into the big leagues,
Exactly. So this has happened to so many people, and their stories have not been told. So as it's happening, dude pulls down his pants, and in my head I'm like, fucking chop his dick off, run out of there, like do what you gotta do, don't do this shit, you're stronger than this. But if they had done that, that would have kind of discounted the stories of people who were coerced, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because it shows like, hey, this is how this type of thing can fucking happen. And this is how a person can do it and have the regret after, and this is what they can do in the aftermath.
Yeah.
You're not trapped. So I really liked how they handled it in that regard. It was obviously disturbing, but hey, man, this is a movie that does not shy away from exploring the deepest, darkest elements of human nature.
Yes.
Yeah, it was super realistic. For even though you're dealing with comic book superhero types, I thought that the way they handled it was good, and the fact that she went through with it, and you see how she recovers later, I think that makes it that much better, because you don't just see her just totally giving in. she totally becomes herself. She realizes what she did, and she becomes a better person for it.
And they do it in a way that's not ham-handed. They don't give her fucking the final fight scene doesn't start with no doubt like in fucking Captain Marvel.
They did have some. They did have some. They did have one of those moments with Homelander. What song was that? They had a really popular '80s song where he started fighting.
Oh yeah, that's dang. I can't remember the name of the song, but I know what scene you're
Oh,
talking about.
Marie don't like it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Fuck the Casbah when
yeah.
he started lasering up mofos. Can we talk about Madeline Smith?
Oh yes, Madeline.
Madeline Stillwell. Sorry,
Madeline
Yes.
Stillwell.
So-
Yeah. What do you
Elizabeth
the fact
Shue.
that because just keep it moving, she was the mastermind. I like that it wasn't a dude. I like that she was.
Is she the mastermind?
Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes throughout the season until the end of the episode.
Until we know that. Until we
find
find out that fucking
there was-
Gustavo Fring is actually higher up.
Right, which was also really
And he
dope. That
actually
was dope.
makes
But-
the reference. He's like, I need someone to take this over when I move to Belize, which is a direct
Right.
reference to Breaking
To
Bad.
Breaking
So,
Bad.
yeah.
Shouts to
You were
Breaking Bad.
saying what?
Yes.
I mean, go on.
I just like that she was the figurehead throughout the whole series. I mean, there's stuff that's gonna happen that's gonna blow your freaking socks off. When
It's
you
gonna
do
blow
watch
your
it.
eyes out of your skull, much
So
like hers
once you
were.
start listening to this and you hear the spoiler alert, go back, watch it, and then listen to this. I love the fact that she was this kind of motherly evil figure. Because remember when they were talking to the one of the Detroit mayors or something, and she's like, "We want black whatever." Like it was a superhero.
in Atlanta.
The Nubian
Prince.
Nubian Prince, there he goes.
And then she was like 100 million, and he's like, "Oh no, we can't afford that. 50 million." And she's like, "Okay, it's something." And then he was on his way, and she said, "Safe flight back." I was like,
Right.
he's going down."
You saw Homelander.
But apparently that wasn't her call though. That was Homelander's.
That was
call.
Homelander's call.
Oh
but,
yeah.
But you know,
But yeah, that was the same.
I didn't
But-
know that at the time because it seemed like she.
And that's how they ended
had
the
the
episode.
hit.
yeah.
exactly.
But actually, after it happened and she learned about it, she wasn't upset about it.
Yeah.
She was like, "Okay," you know what I mean?
And I thought that
She's
was
about her
weird
cash.
too. That whole Homelander Madeline thing.
She's about her cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the lingering questions that they didn't
Was that like an
really
essential-
tie up
Was that-
completely. We still don't. Do we know the exact nature
No,
of their
we don't.
relationship? We have some clues.
They definitely banged,
They definitely banged.
and there's some weird
Superman-
mommy shit where he was.
Homelander is a 2-pump chump. Apparently,
Yeah,
he-
pump
he-
chump.
that's his
He
weakness.
didn't- he
I'm
didn't last
sorry.
long. Yeah, they have a weird relationship. Like he would lay his head on her lap at
And then
times.
she's like, no.
And then
no.
she would do the kneading thing with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
finger.
yeah,
That's right.
Or the
There was
Super
some
weird.
I think that's just a weird kinky thing.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
And also the fact
well, it's
that
because he didn't have
A mom.
He
right,
didn't have a mom.
He didn't have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mom.
yeah.
He was basically a lab baby. So
Pretty
now
much.
he grew up, and he has no direction other than what he sees in front of his face.
I'm just gonna say
Yes,
this. A-Train, I do not like. I do not.
Not a fan of. Not a fan of.
I didn't
left
like
field.
his costume. I feel like he got the short end of this. We're gonna call you A-Train. He's like, all right, I got this. Because I'm Express, right? It's like, all right now. I'm Express Train, but not on the weekends, late
Yeah.
nights. Like, nigga, what? All right.
All I gotta say about A-Train is
I liked his character development,
Yeah.
but I just it just seemed kind of like that was ham-handed. Like, you're
Yeah.
black, A-Train, New
thought-
York.
yeah.
You
I
know?
thought his part was kind
Well,
of whack too.
It was a little
in-
cliche.
And I was
I
talking
liked his
about-
backstory.
Actually,
I liked
though,
his
in the
backstory.
comics, I
Oh, you read the comics?
I haven't read all the
guy
comics.
reading
What I
comics
did,
over here.
what I
This
did,
guy over
He's
here
the
reading.
teacher, man.
after I watched, I found out that it was based on a graphic novel, and I got the Kindle Unlimited thing on Amazon,
Shout out.
and so for free,
Yo, Amazon, Dunkin' Donuts, we need this money, man.
give me that Bezos
Yo, Dunkin'
money,
Donuts,
man.
hit us up, man. Anyway, continue.
So I checked out. I just read like the first few pages, and A-Train was in the books is actually white.
Oh.
Word?
Yeah, so it's not so.
Oh, all
So they're like, all right, we gotta
Assume
have
the
one
best,
black
yeah.
I
actor in
still
this.
don't retract my statement, but
They were like,
I
we
like
have
the
to have,
fact that they gave a brother
Right.
the role, man. I just didn't like his costume. I think his costume was too
It's
cumbersome.
cheesy.
It should have been more
Cheesy.
sleek. He
Yeah.
had the weird shoulder. What do you need
Yeah.
shoulder pads if you aerodynamic?
It was super fucking
Anyway,
cheesy.
I liked his backstory with his brother. I love that he was like just a fast runner, and it also spoke to sports. Right? Can we talk about?
Yeah,
Can
I
we
like
talk
the
about the
whole-
main plot?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Compound V
Compound
is
V.
one hell of a drug.
Hell of a drug.
Hey man,
Gotta have
That's-
that compound.
So
yeah,
there was definitely parallels to sports and MMA and everything that weightlifting, you name it, like
so
juicing.
You could take a lot of different narrative choices and apply it to real world situations, because like you could also say that this is what celebrities and actors will do to maintain their longevity, is take likes of Botox, etc. to as they're getting on, because this is what's happening. He's getting older, and these young cats are coming up, and they might be faster. So
and I'm glad they spoke to that in an
to
episode. Like he's like, this dude can't be the fastest forever, and like and that's exactly how society is. There's always someone behind you who's hungrier, younger, stronger, faster. And what do you do to keep that light, right? Yeah. If you're an A-list actor and you see all these B, or like you see the next generation in comedy too, you're like, oh shit, am I becoming a relic? Am I out of date? My stuff in the 80s worked. What about now? Like now it's all about being woke and being cool and
can't
having
make
reference.
Retard jokes anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't see me doing the air quotes. Yeah. So that makes it not.
You can
not
if you're
offensive.
watching us on YouTube.
Hey, what's up, baby? I love you.
We're fucking stupid. Anyway. There's
a lot that this speaks
dropping.
to, man. But speaking of Compound V, I think that's another lingering question I have going into the next season is what are the dimensions of this Compound V? How does it work when to make a superhero from scratch?
Well, they didn't go
how does it
into
work?
that.
How does it work in terms of being like a drug? Once you are a superhero, obviously it's kind of like a cocaine-y.
Can I say what it does?
It affects
Yeah,
it, like you said,
it.
is like lowering his bone density, and I'm sure
That's right.
He said something about your testicles being smaller too. I think
yeah,
that was
so
a
it's
shot
kind
at
of like
that's
it's kind
right.
of basically
That's
like a steroidy type of.
I think, but they gave it to babies to give them superpowers, supposedly in the story arc of the whole show. I think the way it works, I'm just gonna take a stab at it. It just alters your DNA alters your DNA.
Do you think so? It has adverse health effects when you're using it not recreationally, but like regularly in the way that A Train was. Do you think it affects? Like, do we need to worry about the likes of Starlight in the future? Like, just the
she
heroes
wasn't using it.
I know, but
she wasn't
used
using
it to be made. So are there issues that are going to come up later for the people, for the heroes in general?
What's that girl's name? The Bone Claw girl.
You're
talking about
I'm looking for a name here.
Popper.
What they call their? You talking about female?
Yeah, no, not Kamiko.
No, not Kamiko.
Not
You're talking
Komiko. Not the Japanese girl.
A Train's girl.
Oh, her. Okay.
I don't see it here. Was it female? Karen? No, that's Fukuhara.
Yeah.
Whatever. The A Train's girl. She was hot, by the way. She did it not for to get strong. She did it to like get off.
She was getting like high.
She was getting high off it. So it had this double kind of thing where it's a drug and it's also a performance enhancer. And I thought that was super dope, just the way they kind of played both sides. And I also don't know what happened to her landlord's face. Did she have
her landlord's face
crushed it with her knees.
Yeah.
Oh, she just crushed his head.
Yeah, she just crushed his head like Clay.
She didn't mean to.
She was climaxing. Damn.
Yeah.
That's a way to go out, though, man.
No, it's not.
I guess there are worse ways, but
she could have.
You wouldn't want to. All right, hold on.
She could have reciprocated first.
You don't know if he was getting. I don't know. All right, maybe.
Well, he was.
I don't want to get my head crushed while a woman is sitting on top of my face. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
that's straight up praying mantis shit right there.
Or do you?
You only live once, chap. All right.
So speaking of graphic violence, this thing was very fucking graphic and very fucking violent, and I fucking loved it for one. What did you guys think of the violence playing out? Like, I know, for example, I loved seeing just Homelander lasering the fuck out of people, and this is like what would really happen if Superman. In Superman movies, if he was using those fucking things, people would burst open. We saw like it's like Mortal Kombat style fatality levels of violence. There's like splits through when Butcher has the blue laser baby and he slices through someone. You
that
can
was
see
hilarious.
like the fucking like heart pumping. It gets cut.
He like
in half.
squeezed the baby.
Yeah.
He's like, come on.
I gotta say this about Homelander, right? So Homelander to me is maybe the most evil character I've ever seen in comic books, mainly for the fact that he is so narcissistic.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that he is the most powerful being in the universe, at least in this universe, and he uses it basically on a whim whenever he wants. When he killed, spoiler alert, Madeline at the very end of the season in the last episode, it was so cold and I just looked at it and my jaw just dropped, and it was unbelievable because he could act like the nicest fucking guy around people when he wanted.
That's how psychopaths are, man.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, whenever, like for one thing, he fucking basically crashed 2 planes in the fucking sky.
Oh my god,
with
that
his
scene
fucking
in the
eyes.
plane, as disturbing as it was,
That
what a
was
fucking
so
awesome
fucking
scene.
disturbing.
That scene with the
Whoa.
terrorist was kind of, I don't know. I felt taken aback. I was like, whoa. I don't know. It was.
It's powerful, man, but it's good.
It's
That's
good, but I was
Very
like,
good.
I was
Very
like,
good.
I was just like, this is bringing up some weird. That's just because of terrorism.
That's what it does, man.
Yeah,
I mean, we see on the logo.
Yeah,
like,
my face was
spectrum of
definitely.
emotions.
That's definitely how I was looking when I was
Exactly. I was looking.
I was not looking.
eyebrow raise. Is that this?
I figured that's exactly what our faces would look like when that fucking shit happens.
But also, there's some notes on Homelander. Why I think he's a great antagonist for the show. Created by the Nazis, not trained, has no identity. Destruction. He's a deconstruction of Superman or evil Superman. He's also evil Superman. He rapist? That remains to be seen.
No, he's
well, he
not.
raped. He raped.
No, no, no,
Butcher's
no, no, no,
Butcher's
no,
wife.
no, no,
no. He said it at the end. He's like, "Yo, she came on to me, bro."
No, but you also
But I
see it in
think
the
he was
video.
lying,
No.
They had the
No,
footage.
They had the video.
They had the footage.
Right, I remember the footage.
The
And
surveillance
then at
footage.
the end,
But
yeah,
she
yeah.
le- but
No,
she
she
left.
came out. She came out of there, and she was like, "Hey, I got my shoes."
and there was
she
definitely
was not-
sexual
she-
tension
yeah.
at the dinner party.
All right, fair enough.
Listen,
fair
if your
enough,
girl,
fair enough.
listen, if you with your girl and there's another dude and they have their interaction, best believe she's like, all right,
Yeah.
bet. Like, cause I was like, ooh, yep.
And this is a choice, actually, that I think that the show veered away from the comics on. I'm not going to be that guy who's like, oh, this is different from the comics, but apparently that's something that they're doing.
that's in
So I'd be
every
interested to
adaptation
see how
has
that
that.
plays out. But yeah, Homelander, oh my God. What a fucking good villain. And you've seen Superman be bad if you've ever
the comic.
played Injustice or read the comic book. That's actually pretty
Or watch
popular.
like in Justice League, like any.
So
yeah.
we've seen evil Superman, but this is charming.
Justice League, not
This
Justice
is charming Superman who's trying to maintain his Superman image behind clothes. I mean, on the surface,
Yeah.
but is a fucking psychopath.
Didn't
behind
he
closed
freak
doors.
out at one scene? He was like, "Get the fuck back, or like kill every." Like,
Oh,
yeah,
when he
yeah,
was on the
he-
plane.
yeah, like he on the plane. That's why I was like, yo. He has these flashes of like when he's like everyone stay calm and have and people are panicking. You
Yeah.
know, you're in your
Fight or flight.
Yeah, your fight or flight. You're like, no, let's get back. And then he's like, get the fuck. And his eye, I was like, yo,
It was
this
fucking
gonna
scary,
fly.
bro.
He
It
was
was
gonna
fucking scary.
fly.
And then Maeve was like doing her best. She was trying to save
Maeve
at least
was
2
scared,
people.
too.
She was trying to save at least
She
a
was
couple
trying to
people.
scare the kids.
That's right. That's right.
And I
then-
really like that scene because sorry to cut you off.
No,
but
no, go for it.
she was like she was trying to be solution based. Like let's fly everyone
Yeah,
back, and
yeah.
he's like, you want me to fly 150 people back up and
And he's
down,
being logical. It's like,
30,000
yeah,
feet.
yeah.
Like
Right.
that's not gonna happen. He's like, well then let's do. And I love that they actually kind of scienced it. He's like, so what do you? She's like, can't you just?
Fly? He's like, no, I'm just gonna
because
knock it-
Superman in a Superman movie would do what?
He would
like
fly,
make it, and then he's like,
and
so
yeah.
Right,
He's like, for
exactly.
me to do it, I would have to get enough speed. I would punch a hole through the plane, or like it would flip over because of what? Physics. Like
Yeah.
it's going down. If you put, it's gonna flip.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I
So I
kinda
love how
dig
they
that.
justified the
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. It wasn't just like do this. He was like, no. He actually explained each and every. Well, he was shooting it down. He didn't want to do it ultimately, but I really dug. STEM teacher, whatever. But I dug that they didn't just throw out the physics and science
Oh
of
yeah,
real world.
and
I agree.
these guys,
I agree.
these characters, they're purely Machiavellian, man.
Oh,
Purely
yeah.
pragmatic.
Wait, I don't know what that
So
means. I'm not that
They're
smart.
pragmatic.
For
Meaning,
those,
what
who
was
have, for
Machiavellian?
those who have been to college,
they're making
Machiavellian.
they're making choices in order to further their agenda. So they're thinking fully pragmatic. So they're letting go of like, oh, I want to save this baby, and it's like, no. He's thinking logically. He's like, can't do it because of this, and this, and just being totally cold. And then after the plane falls, what does he do? He's Machiavellian. He's pragmatic, and he says, we can fucking use this.
Yeah.
If
And
we were
also-
there, we could have
also-
saved them.
Also, get your story straight, which speaks a lot to how people in high society, not going to get all political, but when a black man or a brown man gets shot by the police, there's a stopgap where we don't know what happens, and then the story comes out. So there was a lot of that also when things were happening in the story where there was like, wait, we can spin this. Hold on before it goes to public.
That's a very,
Yeah.
very good point.
You know what I'm like, and I'm like, yo, that's what I'm saying. You should watch this show, even if you're not into like superhero comics. it's a great even like just TV drama.
Yeah.
And
you know?
especially for these times that we have right now, Homelander to me seems like the ultimate hardcore politician in like the worst possible way, because he can look at you and act like he's your best fucking friend and go behind your back and be like, go kill his family.
Yeah.
And like he could do it with like not even thinking about it.
Or at the very least, make those decisions. It's like, all right, these people will die. Make those sort of those hard choices. Like, all right, well, these people are going to die in order to push this agenda. They're just pawns.
Totally.
He's looking at us as meat bags, or like you can see he says in no uncertain terms, or expresses his disdain or his sense of superiority over just regular humanity. So great fucking villain. And what's crazy is that through the first couple of episodes, I was thinking, because at one point they say the only person that's not an asshole is Homelander. So I didn't know he was an asshole until like maybe what was it, episode 3 or something? Because they show him when he comes in, he's like, "Hey, let's just talk about who you saved today," kind of a thing. So he's like, "Oh, maybe he is like the one good guy." But no.
Quickly turns.
No.
Quickly
sir,
turns.
Eve.
Are we gonna talk about the?
Wait, here's what I ask you guys, because we haven't gotten enough treatment of our main characters, the boys.
Yeah, we didn't. I was trying to.
Let's talk about them
So
boys.
who are the heroes? Are the boys the heroes?
Well, that remains to be seen because oh boy, what's his name? The
Huey?
main boy.
Billy Butcher?
Billy Butcher is just bent on destruction and revenge throughout the whole thing, and
Yeah,
is
he's a
willing
bit-
to throw out. He's willing to throw out Mother's Milk and Frenchie and Huey at one point.
He's
know?
he's got the blinders on. He's
to
very
revenge
narrow
his,
vision. Yeah.
to revenge his girlfriend. And I really like that scene when he's talking to Homelander. He's like, "Do you have any proof? Oh, you're just doing this off of feelings."
That was
I
amazing.
was like, he didn't have proof. He was just kind of going like, "You raped my girl, and like I'm gonna avenge you." And it's like, did I?
Did I?
Yeah.
She came over.
And that also speaks to how memory works. Like he just made that story up to justify his vengeance and killing spree.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what people do.
yeah.
That's a very human thing.
That's the mark of a supervillain in a comic for sure.
Yeah.
And Huey was on that track and was able to come off of it.
Yeah,
thanks
he's not
to
that
Starlight.
guy. Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
he the hero? Is Huey the hero for season 1 at least?
I don't think
he's the hero.
I don't think anyone's the hero in this, man.
So we're
I
just
think
living
it's-
in that nuanced gray zone?
I think so because I mean,
everyone has a fault in this.
yes.
Oh yeah.
I think that's one of the things that makes this show so realistic, at least with having superheroes, is the fact that there are no real heroes, right? Everyone's got their negatives and positives. So even the people that are considered to be the heroes, they still have their flaws too. They're not necessarily good or bad people. Their intentions for the most part are good, but they do bad things to reach a goal that they're trying to get to.
I don't know how many people had good intentions.
Can we just
the
talk
Deep
about-
had some good intentions later on. He's trying to
Well, yeah.
save dolphins.
No, but
and
that's
lobsters.
after,
it
that's
never
after
works.
his
That didn't
career.
really
Can
work
we just
out.
talk
Yo,
about
yes,
the Deep
yes.
getting
the Deep
kind
is
of
fucking
raped?
hilarious. Yo,
Oh.
that's right. I forgot. Yo, the Deep. He's just lying on the couch with this girl that he brings
He
home.
Yeah, that was.
deserved it.
I had to turn away from that scene because that was cringe. Like I was like,
I don't know what it would feel like to get your fingered in your gills, but it didn't look like it felt
I
good.
guess it would feel like if someone's fingering your lungs.
Yeah, like that was a crazy scene.
You guys should watch this show.
And he's on a bit of a downward spiral right now. If you watch the show, he's in Ohio because he's kind of been
He's
sent
been
to, he's been annexed to
Yeah.
Ohio where there's like very little crime. He shaves his head. He's been raped.
he's a
He
toxic
shaves his
male.
whole body, and he's just totally like
He's lost. Yeah.
he's lost.
He's
He's
broken.
lost. So I don't know what they're gonna do with him in season 2. Is he gonna come back as the Deep, the original Deep? Is he gonna maybe he's gonna work for SeaWorld or some shit? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, well, he already is working for Oceanland. Actually, he was
that's right. That's right.
against it.
That's right.
So I'm very curious to see where they go with him. I love that they're taking the piss out of Aquaman so
Yeah.
hardcore.
Yeah,
He was definitely the comic relief, and it was good.
was.
It wasn't done. It made sense the way they did it.
When the fucking dolphin flew out of the
Yeah.
truck,
Oh my God.
I felt bad at first, and I just started hysterically laughing because it's so ridiculous. Because he really wanted to save that dolphin. I felt so bad.
Dolphins are so smart, Flipper. No, he just wanted to get wanted to
shit.
get pulled off, man. He just
Yeah.
wanted to
Oh, man.
wank.
He's just trying. Yo, man.
He just wanted to wank.
My man, the Deep, is just trying to save all the ocean animals so we can live in peace.
Favorite
and harmony.
character. Favorite character.
He just shut the fuck up. Was your favorite character?
Favorite character. No, because I know we're
we're
short
short on time.
Oh
Yeah,
man. All right. Oh shit.
it's tough, man.
Man, all right, Danny, go first, man. I can't.
What?
Or favorite thing about the show. Favorite thing about the show.
Favorite thing about this show is the fact that it really lives in the gray. It really there's very little that feels good about this. One of my favorite little moments I'm thinking about this is when Frenchie calls Huey Petit Huey, and he's like, "I'm like actually six." He's like, "I'm 6'3". That's one of my favorite fucking movies moments. And just the way their use of humor, which was very dark, and it just played so well. I love this fucking thing so much, man. It feels good to be on top and with a show when it's just come out. And be there along for the ride. I'm waiting with bated breath for season 2.
Yeah. If I had to pick one character just based off the first season, I'd go with Huey because it reminded me a little bit of Walter White in reverse, or I guess not reverse the way you think. You know, he starts off as just working at like this electronics store, just a mild-mannered kid, and his father basically is saying like, you don't have a backbone, you never had drive, all these different things.
Oh, his father was
Simon Pegg. Oh, quick word about
Simon
Simon
Pegg.
Pegg.
Shout out to him.
So apparently, the original comic book, Wee Huey, it takes place in Scotland. They use Simon Pegg's likeness because they see. I'm a huge fan of Spaced, by the way. I'm a massive fan of Simon Pegg. He's famous for his Channel 4 sitcom Spaced.
Good. Keep going.
Channel 4 show Space. There was a great sitcom, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and he plays the dad in this series. So they use his likeness, thinking that like, oh, this is someone that's not going to become that famous. So they just use it in the comic book. So I guess that's why he got involved in the show.
That makes sense.
He works. I mean, he works.
So that's Wee Huey.
He's great, and he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
What do you think, Amy?
my favorite character so far was definitely Billy Butcher. I want to see where they go because of the whole ending, just to see.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that was a perfect way for him to go out, but like that'd be too easy. You know what I mean? Like just be like,
just a bomb.
Just to end it like
so
that.
I really want to see. I mean, what a cliffhanger! Also, like that's good writing where you want. Like I can't wait for season 2.
And just on a side note, they posted on Instagram a picture of Billy Butcher. And how he looked, and he's got like blood on him, and he's like ready for destruction. So apparently, in the next season, it's going to be bigger, more violence, more blood, more characters. So there'll be a lot more to look forward to.
And also, I look forward to because they didn't really go into the whole V. What is it? V juice.
Compound V.
Compound
V.
That's a
thing. Can someone for people that watch Attack on Titan like get a Titan power? Can they just become? Do you know super strong maybe for a short period of time for like a couple of months?
What happens if you 30-something
do you
like
explode? Like what happens? So I'm really interested, and I like the fact that they kind of kept that a mystery. The whole Compound V. They didn't explain what it does if you weren't introduced to it as an infant or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Or what it does if you were introduced to it as an infant, and what are the long-term ramifications like we were talking about before. Yeah, dude. I think I would say Billy the Butcher is. It's so hard to pick my favorite character. It's either Billy.
I also
Butcher,
really like Black
Huey.
Noir because they didn't. He was just a badass character,
and he can't fucking talk.
But
and he also plays the piano.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah,
he's also a fucking good ass piano player.
pianist, man. But I love the fucking banter. The whole the speech about the Spice Girls. That was so Guy Ritchie, man. That was so Guy Ritchie.
It was.
And the editing, it was giving me super hard. Wow, that sound it was giving me super hard Guy Ritchie vibes in a good way because I love all.
Yeah,
Guy
the
Ritchie.
heist aspect of it,
Yeah.
the camaraderie of the boys. I love that Kamiko is a Spice Girl. In fact, I was hoping so much she would be.
Oh yeah, she's like maybe she's on Spice. You could do a better French accent.
She is
maybe
a Spice Girl.
She was, and also like her character development. She's becoming more like like there's a relationship building between female. She obviously has Compound V in her, and she's finding her own identity because she doesn't know who she is or what she was doing, and now she's becoming more of a human.
Yeah.
She's embracing her human side.
All right.
That's it.
All
for
right.
me.
So let's go quickly into what we're personally binging before we wrap up.
Yeah, cool.
Who would like to go first? Yemi?
I'll go first. I am personally binging. If you haven't seen it, this anime dropped this year. Demon Slayer. OMG, probably the best anime I've seen all year. Binged it. 20 episodes. It's not even done. Go watch it. It's the same people that made the same animated. I don't remember. Just go watch it. Demon Slayer. Everyone's talking about it. And if you want some good Black Mirror vibes meets anime tricks combined, Death Death Love Robots on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling you guys,
Yeah, man.
it's I didn't know it came out last year.
No, it came out a few months ago.
Oh, a few months ago.
Okay.
Okay.
In the spring, I want to say maybe.
I
late
totally
winter.
missed it, and I just it came up on my queue. Dude, it's what is anthology, so you can watch in whatever. There's not connected. to anything.
It's not canonical.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like the Matrix. What was it called?
The Animatrix.
Animatrix.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I
Animatrix,
said
okay.
it gives
Yeah.
anime. I
Yeah.
mean, it was Black Mirror does become Easter eggs towards season 3 and stuff, but it's definitely that dark, mature, robotic, and most of it's animated CG, but so beautiful. Like it's just gorgeous to watch. And then the story and the actual content is like, what am I watching? Like I had to watch something again. I was like, yeah, it's crazy. It's good.
There's that one with the artist with the color blue. That's I've only seen a few of them, but that's my favorite so far.
The color blue. Which one?
He has like a certain kind of color blue. I don't want to give it away. It's all about this artist who has he's like a painter that keeps on using this particular shape or this particular type of blue.
I haven't binged the whole thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
Spoiling
okay,
things on
okay.
the bench to me.
All right,
those are the two things I'm
Winston.
binging or have binged.
Yes.
Winston, what are you binging?
I'm currently binging Secession, which is a show on HBO. I didn't think I'd like the show at first, but I watched it, and the acting and writing is phenomenal. It's a little bit Shakespearean, but not in a boring, dumb way. The actors are really, really good in it. The storyline is actually very good. There's a really cool turn at the end of the first season, which really sets up the second season, which just started. So yeah, check that out if you're into rich people behaving badly. Secession on HBO Go or wherever you stream your movies and television shows.
I double dipped my chip into the caviar. I'm behaving so badly.
There's a little bit of that in there. What about you, Danny?
I'm currently binging on these Dunkin' Donut munchkins from the ferry.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop this. They're not giving us money. We gotta stop this.
They're probably going to get a cease and desist letter before we get a sponsorship.
Probably.
We don't want to be a part of this.
We don't condone this. I am binging. I mean, I was basically watching what we were watching for the podcast, but I'm playing Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That's what I'm binging on right now. I was up in Cape Cod, so a little bit when I had some downtime, I just had had on the Switch. So I just had my mobile gaming system, really fucking good turn-based strategy RPG. Guilty as charged, man. Every single time. I will admit
you get that button.
I'm getting that button, man. That button was made for me. That's my button. Thank you. Yeah, anyway, great fucking game. Great fighting systems as I'm choking on a donut. Great story as well. It's kind of weird. I never thought I would have fun learning these characters, and you got to do things like have tea parties with them so you can build support
I
between
thought you were
you
gonna
and
say
your...
sex, but all right.
No, you don't have to have sex. There are games
there
like
was-
that.
there was a
Mass
dramatic-
Effect. Mass Effect.
Yeah,
You could fucking Mass Effect.
Yeah, you can fucking Mass Effect 3. The new one was crap.
No,
Andromeda was
you
crap.
could fucking all of them.
Oh, really? I only played
yeah.
3. That was the best one.
I was with the blue alien. Anyway, I just wanted to know what that was like. So yeah, that is a really fucking dope game trending right now.
What are you binging,
Really
though?
great. That's what I'm binging, man. That's what
You're
I'm.
not watching anything?
What?
You're not watching
I
anything?
need a new show. What am I going to binge this
I
week?
gave
give
you
me
2.
something. All right, I'll binge those things.
Yo,
but it's
dude,
boring if I say I'm
Demon
going to watch
Slayer
those things. Demon Slayer. That's what I'm
is
going to watch. That's what I'm going to watch. And I'm going to play Fire Emblem, and I'm going to play Overwatch because they just had a massive update, so I'm getting back into that game.
Dude, you should. All right, we don't have time to get
No
into
time
it.
to get into gaming.
Apex just released new stuff, single player mode, all that.
Oh, yeah, solos and
If-
Apex Legends.
Yeah, there's a lot going
We're
on.
gonna have a
We
gaming
didn't
show
talk
at
about,
some point.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah. We should get Dan Yang for that one. He games a little bit.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We should get people.
All right, guys.
That's it. We're out. Shit,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank
That's
you
it.
so much for listening to this episode. You can find us, of course, on IG at Binge Society, on Twitter at Binge Society Pod, and you can email us at bingesocietypodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, if you hate the show, if you love the show, if you like the show,
if you want us to stop,
whatever it is.
If you're Dunkin' Donuts and you want to send us a cease and desist or a sponsorship.
Exactly. I prefer the sponsorship.
I would rather the sponsorship as well.
We're gonna keep drinking this
We
Dunkin',
could make
man.
for some good drama if we have a cease and desist letter. If we have a war between us and the staff
would,
of
yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, we could
That
talk
would make for
about
good
it.
podcast.
Wait, did
Yeah.
you give us our IG? You can.
Yeah, he did.
follow?
Sir,
Okay,
he did.
I
I
did.
Binge Society.
Good
My bad.
listening skills,
Yeah.
bro.
And of course, you can always follow me, Winston Brewington, at Radio Win on IG.
Oh, you can follow me at Yemi Comedy. That's YEMI Comedy on Instagram.
And you can follow me at I_am_Dan_Tastico on IG or Laces Out Dan 485 on the Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm Danny Bronner.
I'm Yemi Afalabi.
And I'm Winston Brewington.
Keep binging, y'all.
Keep
Keep
binging,
binging.
baby.
Don't check any of your impulses. Just go with them. All of
Just
them.
go with it.
Well,
All right.
unless it's like rape and pedophilia.
Check
Oh
that-
yeah,
check-
yeah,
check
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit.
Moderate that.
Moderate. We're
Moderate
talking about
that.
binge and watching stuff.
Yeah, come on. You know what we're talking about.
All right, man. We out.
Later.
Later, man.
Peace.
Oh, this one had jelly.